Hello and welcome. Thanks for joining us under the library. We are playing Call of Cthulhu in a homebrewed world created by our keeper, where we are all collaboratively creating the story as we go. If you enjoy what we do here and would like to support our efforts, please do so by going to underthelibrary.com/support to learn more. Speaking of our supporters, we are going to be doing a monthly giveaway for our Patreon supporters. It is going to start this month with kind of a big one. We're giving away a copy of the Grand Grimoire of Cthulhu Mythos Magic. Just rolls right off the tongue. Michael is holding it up on his camera for those who are watching on YouTube. That drawing is going to take place at the end of the month, so you've still got a couple weeks to get in on it. If you would like to become a Patreon supporter, you will be in that drawing to get that fine tome. One more reminder before we get going. If you are a tabletop RPG player or GM and would like to improve your role-playing skills, you should definitely check out our other show. It is called Up Your RPG. Season 2 will launch next Wednesday, and it can be found wherever you get your podcasts. With all that out of the way, let's get to a show. My name's Arthur. I'm going to be playing Buddy. We have a full house again tonight, which means I am joined by Wayne as Sister B, Rick playing Sam, Emily is Joe, Chris is Pappy, Scott's Eddy, and as always, our keeper is Michael. Michael, I pass the show over to you.
Hey, thanks. Under the Library is a Call of Cthulhu horror tabletop role-playing game, and as a horror tabletop role-playing game, has themes of violence, gore, and other things that we don't know are going to quite come up yet because, well, we make it up as we go along. That said, we're immature people playing with mature themes, so if you think that circus peanuts should have a raspberry filling, you're probably in the right place. And with that, I'll turn it over to Emily for last week's app.
All right, so last week we started in Joe's house. Sam had just returned from examining the basement where the event happened to find Joe sitting in the hallway outside of her room, unable to enter. She eventually gets her nerve, goes in, and of course the room has been cleaned. It's very impersonal, but she did find one box stuffed back under the back of her dresser that she wanted to take with her, personal items. They're going to leave the house, but then Joe feels this pull to go to the basement. She goes to the basement herself, sees that all signs of the event are gone, and almost feels a sense of peace. Then heads back upstairs, snags her thumb on the railing, sees blood dripping onto the floor, and just reverts. She feels like nothing's going to change. She can never leave, escape her past, and they just leave the house. And then we switched on that happy note to Buddy and Eddy, who were a quarter of a mile from the gas station where the car that they were following pulled off. Remember, the car was the people that kidnapped Lana stuffed her in this car. So they see the lights flick on in the gas station, but then again, they go off. So once they're off, Buddy and Eddy approach, and they must have seen some people through the window because Buddy had seen a man reaching down towards a wall, towards a cooler, and when they finally get inside, he examines that cooler, finds a lever, and finds a trapdoor. There's a stairwell that leads down below the mechanic bays. The dirt walls of the stairwell have been reinforced with wire, steel, sort of a grid. They hear voices, they hear a slap, and Lana screams, and they take off down into the darkness. Then we move to Sister Bielopushkin and Pappy, who are in conversation at the Catholic charity, and they realize they both know Richard. Pappy knows him because Boone had mentioned him in their correspondence, and Sister B suggests they go together to investigate Richard's house. Now, on their way, in conversation, Pappy starts to feel like he's being, I guess, questioned too closely, and he ends up. He was afraid that she would blow his cover. His name's actually John, and he works for the Council of Peripatetics, a secular organization that investigates evil in the world, evil that is a danger to humankind. And he asks to be called Pappy going forward, and that Sister B would help him maintain his cover. In the house, everything's dark, no sounds from inside. Pappy is able to get in through an open window. As we ended, he had not yet let Sister B into the house, but he was standing in Richard's bedroom looking at the chalk outlines of the bodies that used to be there.
All right. So we're picking up, I believe, with Buddy and Eddy. Is that right?
I think that's what we're doing.
All right. So Buddy and Eddy, when we left off, Buddy was keeping his flashlight low. Both of them had their guns drawn. And Eddy, you had your flashlight low as well, or was it on top of your gun?
Well, I've got it on top of my gun, but I've got my gun sort of down.
Okay, perfect.
So
all right.
I'm not doing this with it.
Nice.
And as you're under the mechanics bay of this gas station, right? You're kind of at the bottom of the stairs. There's a little bit of moonlight that had come through the windows upstairs and then trickled through the grates, but not a ton. So your flashlights are kind of a better source. You're not necessarily in a cave, but there's no kind of hard walls underneath. They had used wire and things to keep the dirt, the basement had been carved into the ground, and they had used kind of stiff wire to hold back the walls of the basement or undercarriage of the mechanic bay.
It sounds safe.
Yeah, of course. It smells roughly of, kind of oil and grease and used rags and kind of just a machiney, motory smell
But also
underneath
sort of
there.
dirty, loamy kind of stuff. Like
Exactly. That combination of it's not. I mean, it's the desert, so it's not going to be too wet, so to speak, but certainly, have an earthy smell to it. And why don't one of you give me a spot hidden as you have your flashlights on now and your eyes are adjusting? You could both, as a matter of fact.
That is a success for Buddy.
Holy crap.
That's a hard success.
Yeah, I
All
didn't
right.
fail a spot hidden.
Man, you've been on a
It's
roll,
going to be a
though.
good night. I'm not
No
gonna
pun
lie when I say
intended.
that.
All right. So you're catching kind of the flickering of the walls, and everything's pretty straightforward under here. It looks like there's some drums for storing oil and things like that. Plenty of rags and some wrenches, some just various, any kind of like mechanical tools that you'd think of to be stored down here, and shelving that would mirror that, and a few chemicals here and there, maybe some paint thinner and things like that. And what you notice is opposite you on the far end. So if you're imagining you went through the cooler, you're now down underneath kind of the garage portion of the mechanic bays. There's a door on the opposite end from you. So if you were standing outside and looking at the building, this would be going out like kind of under the earthen floor of the desert, past the garage, right? You're able to look up and see the bays above you. So this is going to be a door that goes out into the dirt beyond you.
Okay. Just so that my mind's eye is picturing this correctly, is it going in relation to standing in front of the building? Is it going toward the back of the building or toward the side of the building?
So towards the side, but out under the ground, right? It's going
Gotcha.
out underneath the foundation of the building.
Gotcha. Okay.
And I'm sorry, maybe you were just saying this, but how many doors do we see?
Just
That's the
one.
only one.
Just
That's
one.
the only one.
Yeah, Eddy, one thing that you pick up on as you're kind of glancing around is this copper tubing that's also running along the maybe about 6 inches from the ceiling, or 6 inches from like the mechanic bays. So up let's see. We'll give you about 7 feet here, so total. So, about 6.5 feet off the ground is this copper tubing that seems to just run all along uh, the the ceiling level of this
Can I
area.
reach up and touch it? Is it low enough?
Yeah, I would think so.
So
Well,
I want
I
to
don't.
reach up and feel
Eddie's not particularly.
average height.
Yeah, you're fine.
So I want to feel if it's warm, if I can feel liquid moving through it, like if I get a sense of what might be in there, just at least perception wise.
Sure, it's very cold, and as you run your fingers over it, it feels bumpy every so often.
right,
Does
and
it
one of-
resemble? Sorry, Scott. Just real quick.
No,
does
no.
does it resemble the copper piping that was under the theater, or under the stage in the theater?
It sure to the degree that it's copper piping,
Okay.
and
But it's
yeah.
not like the same size, and there's nothing like distinguishing that I'm like, oh wow, it looks like the same thing. It's
No,
just
ma-
Is there a
it's just
sign in it
piping.
that says evil flows through here
make
by
an
any chance?
make an intelligence roll on that one. I'll give you that.
Not exactly, buddy. Strong suit.
It's just buddy.
Holy shit!
97, 98,
that is
99.
That is one short of an extreme success. I rolled a 14.
Come on, celebrate him. How many nights has poor already had terrible?
Which
right?
is still just a hard success, right?
It you know what? I'm going to use a luck point and make it an extreme success just to say fuck you, Rick.
I was going to say just to tell Rick to go fuck himself. That's a fuck you point right there. You get bonus points for me. That's great.
All right, so
Worth it.
yeah, Buddy would.
Totally worth it.
Buddy, in my mind, would look at Eddie and give him, what you got there? Kind of.
Mhm.
You can do that voice. I can't.
Hey, what are you looking at there, Eddie? Sir,
We-
are those pipes there?
Yeah, reach up and touch it. This thing is crazy. It reminds me of something, but I can't tell what. You're the smart one. You tell me what you're thinking.
Oh, it's a little bumpy and cold. That's weird.
It reminds you exactly, Buddy, of that piping that was under the theater.
Hey, you know what, Eddie?
And-
This reminds me exactly of the piping that was under the theater.
This is amazing. It's like you're hearing this voice of God coming in your ear and going out your mouth. It's brilliant.
Oh, that doesn't sound good.
Wow.
That's a phrasing thing there you might want to consider, Mr.
He's
Eddie,
just
sir.
going inside of you and then he's coming out really fast.
Oh, I hate this conversation.
So, Buddy, as you look at the pipe and inspect it, you notice that there's holes in it, but you didn't really inspect the pipe in the theater.
Mhm.
So you're not going to be able to say whether there were holes in the pipe in the theater, but this does look identical in terms of it's more like copper tubing instead of pipe. And you find it odd that there's holes in it.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say. Are there holes as in like intentional holes, or like there's a flaw in
I
the
think you said they're
piping?
regularly spaced. So
Yeah,
they've
it's
gotta be
regular.
intentional.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to shine my flashlight up and look into one of the holes.
The
And
holes are on the
as-
top. So when you feel it, you can't see
gotcha.
them. You can only feel these kind of impressions. with a
Not
hole.
for nothing, but as
Weird.
he's shining his light up there,
Yeah.
I'm sort of getting a little bit low and I'm closely spotting at the door in
Okay.
case the movement of the light attracts any attention.
That makes sense.
Okay. Wow, weird. So it's actually holes, not like indentions.
Right. Like as you feel it, it'd feel like somebody drilled holes in there. Not
Yeah,
very
it's-
big, but they're in there.
Interesting. Okay.
Almost, based on your description, it sounds like maybe it's a way to like have liquid shoot out of it at some point. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
like I wonder if there's like a thing that shifts and all of a sudden those holes open up and whatever's inside will come shooting out.
I don't like the sound of that, Eddie.
Depend on what's going in there. If it's, beer, that's not a problem. But assuming it's something a little bit worse than that, I don't know if we want to be standing under these for too long.
That sounds unlikely.
I think, and I'm glad we're checking this out, but buddy, we got to remember something. Lana's in there. She was screaming. I think we got to go in there and check that out right away.
You're right. I got distracted by
No, it
the
happens
holy
to the
pipe.
best of us. It happens to me, but we got to find out what they're doing, and we got to find out if we need to use these guns we got out. You ever shot anyone before?
Oh no, just targets, lots of targets. No
Yeah,
people.
well, just pretend it's a target that wants to make you dead.
Well,
So
that's
don't
kind of what my
hesitate for even
training
a
is.
second, okay?
Yeah, no, that's what I'm trained for.
Yep, it's us or them. We're going to go make them into chalk outlines, okay? That's what our job is. If you shoot, you kill.
Yeah, I know. All right, so start heading toward the door.
Okay. And so,
I assume the door's closed.
yeah, sorry.
Okay. Yep.
Wooden door. Couldn't have open doors. That would just be too
be
accommodating,
weird.
right? Yeah. All right.
Go up and listen at it.
Okay, make a listen roll.
Oh man, 2 perceptions in a row. Holy shit, dude! These dice are awesome.
Yeah. Are these those I gave you?
Yep.
Nice.
Listen is that's a hard success.
Okay. You put your ear up against the door and it's muffled, like they're not right on the other side of the door. In fact, it's part of the success here is realizing that there's another obstacle between this door and the voices. But you hear the men screaming and but quite muffled, and they're going, "Where the fuck is he? He owes us. He owes us big. I want him to pay up. He hadn't paid us in weeks. Where the hell's he been?" And you hear Lana really upset, or the woman's voice that you're able to identify as Lana, and just crying back at him, being like, I don't know. I've been looking for him, and he just up and disappeared, and I don't know where it is. And I don't care. You get us the money then. You're responsible now. You're gonna pay for it. We did this job for him. But I don't have any money. He left. He took everything. I'm broke. And so you just kind of hear this argument going back and forth about this payment that they're due, and that they obviously think that she can somehow provide for it.
All right, so the magician disappeared. Got it. As they
do.
Yep. I'm gonna try to quietly open the door.
Okay. And it's unlocked.
Okay.
So just not for nothing, but as he's opening the door, I've got the gun, and as soon as the door sort of opens, I'm going right in with the gun.
Yep. Does it open toward us or away from us?
Opens towards you.
Okay. So then I guess I'll open it and let you.
Yep.
And
I'll do sort of the left, right.
Yep.
Kind of.
Yep.
All right. You open it, and it's a pretty narrow hallway carved under the ground. So it's about 3 feet wide. It's just kind of big enough for the door to fit there. And right at the end of it, it's about 8 feet long. There's another door. And as you kind of look up, you see more of this tubing running around the ceiling.
Okay.
And the walls are the same, like top to bottom. It's stone or dirt or rock or whatever with the chicken wire on it.
Correct. Yep.
Okay. So go padding forward as quietly as possible.
There's a bright. One thing you do notice is around the edges of the door. So at the end, kind of 8 feet in front of you, is this really heavy looking door. It's not metal, but it is wood, but it looks very, very solid and just plain though. And around the edges of that door frame, light is coming through, and it's incredibly bright.
So then I'll sort of hold up my flashlight and look at Eddy and turn my flashlight off and put it away.
Right. And so when you,
same.
With that experience, the light coming through the doorway is enough to kind of vaguely illuminate this hallway without your lights on. Right.
Okay.
You can now see. And in fact, it's enough that if you left the other door open, it's going to start illuminating out into the bay underneath.
Okay. Then I'm going to back up and close that door a bit. Probably not all the way, just leave it just slightly ajar.
Exactly. We want a little bit of a escape.
Yep. But that way, there's not a whole bunch of light that comes out through the facility outside.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Which way does this door open?
Okay. This door opens towards you again.
Okay.
It has a very industrial looking handle on it.
Mm-hmm.
Solid handle and a deadbolt at the top that looks like it would require a key.
Okay.
But it's not engaged.
Right. Can we see that it's not engaged with the light coming
Correct.
through? Okay.
You can see that it's not engaged.
Okay.
Perfect. So I'm going to whisper to you, just the quietest I can be. When you open that door, open it real fast.
Okay.
When
And
we
as
go in,
as
we
this
go
is
in
going
right
on, right,
fast.
this argument's continuing in the background, right?
Mhm.
There's lots of screaming and things like that.
Do we get any sense from this argument that's happening on the other side of the door, like where people are positioned? Can we determine anything based on who's yelling? And is there any sense of directionality there?
I'll give you another listen roll. It's highly unlikely, but I'll give you another listen roll to see if you can place people within the space.
It's a hard success.
Okay. They sound like they're off to the left. It's a little hard to tell acoustically because it's coming through the door and you're underground, but it sounds like they're probably, if you open the door, that most everything's going to be off in that direction.
Okay. And I'm envisioning the door opening on the right side, that the handle would be on the right side. Is that correct? Or does it open on the left?
It's, hinged on the left-hand side, handle on the right-hand side.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was envisioning. Okay.
Yep.
So then I'll go up, grab the handle, and sort of move out of the way so that Eddy can come by when I swing it open. And the plan to be swing the door open, let Eddy get sort of first through, and then immediately follow.
Okay. Make a right. Let's see. Right as we start, both of you make con rolls at disadvantages, probably.
Uh-oh. That doesn't sound good.
Success.
Yeah, that's a success.
Success.
So the worst one was a normal success.
Yeah, me too.
Hey.
Yeah, the worst one was a regular success.
You start to pull open the doorway, or the door,
Mm-hmm.
and what you're met with is stacks, you can't even count them, of bright lights pointed directly at the doorway.
Mm-hmm.
So as soon as you open the door, it blinds you and Eddy. You have two choices here. You can either stumble forward into the light blindly, or you can shut the door immediately.
Shut the door. Yeah, as soon as that happens, I'm going to say, shut the door, shut the door.
Okay.
Okay, is that what you're going to do?
Yeah. I mean, if that's what.
And
Eddy,
I didn't scream it for what it's worth. I'm still, to the extent that Eddy is able to whisper, I'm whispering.
Yep. And this is stupid old guy ADHD art. As we were having this discussion in the hallway, I was thinking that I wanted to look down when we opened the door, and then I completely forgot it.
Oh no.
Yeah. Because you said that thing about the bright outline. I was like, oh, we should look down when we go in. Totally spaced. Got distracted by it.
All right. You shut the door quietly, and the voices on the other side continue to argue, but they get closer to the door as this guy's screaming. You hear him continue to yell.
Okay. Fuck. He gets closer to the door, continuing to yell. That's weird.
So as soon as you get the door closed, again, as quietly whispery as I can, I say, we got to get in the other hall and start sort of going back and trying to sort of guide you with my body to get us away from the bright door with the other door between us. Because my assumption is they've made us, and now we've got to get where they can't use that light to blind us.
Okay. Yep. I mean, we're in a small hallway, so it's pretty easy to feel our way down the hall, and we just opened that
Yeah,
door.
and you
Yeah,
said
you're
there's
not-
enough light.
So-
There's enough light that we're not in the dark.
Yeah.
Right. And you have that light. What was more problematic going from the dark, being blinded by the lights that were pointed at the doorway, and then as you kind of stumble back, you're regaining your feeling. You could use your flashlights, or there's light still leaking through the doorway, and as well as
number one is just getting to that other hall for me. So,
Okay.
like I said, as long as you're not resisting, I'm gonna do my best to guide our bodies back there.
Okay. You're in one hall. It's about what they say, about 8 feet long, and then you open up underneath the mechanic space. So that's the only two kind of access areas.
Yep. Okay. So we'll just go back out the other end of the hallway, and sort of close that door, not all the way, but just swing it, and listen to see if or actually we don't even have to listen. We can just leave the door cracked. If they open the door on the other side, we're going to see all the light flood through. So,
okay.
But we will still listen.
Still, obviously, listen.
Yeah. Because if they're still yelling, tone will change if the door opens.
Okay. The thing that you hear most, that above all the yelling, is the clicking, like the lock's been clicked.
Shit. Fuck. So I'll say to Eddy, do you think they've got another way out?
That's a good question. I don't know. I think that it would probably make sense for them to have another way out. And obviously, we did the right thing, right? Because if we'd gone in there and we don't see anything, they can see us. And that's a good recipe for getting holes in you. But I think at this point, we got to decide, do we wait here and see if they got to come out that door and just wait them out? Does one of us go around and see if there's another place to get in?
I took their keys, right? Didn't I? Or I looked for their keys?
You reached
I
under
broke
the steering column and you ripped out the cords.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah. And our car is far enough away that they can't just instantly see it.
Our
Y'all
car is
ran
miles
from down-
away.
Yeah.
Oh, that's it. We ran.
Right.
It's miles away. That's right.
Are they still yelling?
No.
Oh.
Yeah, they made us. There's no way they didn't make us.
Yeah. Okay.
So.
Interesting.
Yeah, so what I'm going to say is I think at this point, we got to go and see if there's another exit. Because there's no getting in that door without putting lots of bullets in it, and it's not going to do much.
I'm going to swing the door just a little bit, look through, and see if the light's still around the door on the other side.
Oh, I see what you're saying. You open that, and it's definitely dimmer in there now.
Okay.
There's still light in there, but it's dimmer.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense. The light did its job. It kept us from going in there.
Yeah. Yep.
And I got to say, at this point, if there is somehow a mechanism that lets them open up what's in the those tubes above us, right now we're sort of sitting ducks by sitting down here.
Is there a way that I can figure out to bar this door? Given that there's like wrenches and all kinds of mechanic stuff, can I wedge something in the door, jam a wrench across it?
Yeah, because you said it opens in, so anything that goes through the handle into the thing, and then we could lock it with 2 wrenches on either side. That's going to lock it down pretty good.
Yeah, make a mechanic. Do you have like a mechanic kind of roll or an intelligence roll or?
Oh, let's see here.
Yeah, I got a 40 on my intelligence, so I got a success.
Okay.
Excellent.
Yeah, so I think it'd be pretty reasonable with what's given down there that you could rig something up to at least, especially under the doorway, a wedge or something. You could wedge under there.
Yeah, and like I said, what I want to do is sort of, if I can have something through the handle, if it's like a pulley kind of handle that goes through all the way to the door jamb or the door frame, and then I want to wedge things in there so they can't rattle it open.
Got it. Yep. Okay.
So basically the wrenches are going to interlock with the door handle and it goes across. So there's no getting that door open.
Okay. And
I mean, short of taking the door apart, right? Like,
right, yeah. While you're working on that, you hear a motor fire up in the adjoining room. And
Booking out.
what's that?
We're booking out.
Yep. As soon as and if you need to go before me, I'll follow behind you, and I'm gonna as soon as I get the door done, I'm following right behind Buddy.
Okay. And where are y'all headed?
Back up the way we came.
And
And specifically to where, we're not dumb. We're not gonna go sprinting out and just blindly. We're everywhere we go, we're checking, we're doing clearing. But we want to get around to where we saw that path going, or the hallway, to see if there's an external, like you said, it went basically under the dirt, right? So we
I'm
want to
sorry
go
to jump in, but I just
where
want to
that
ask,
was.
as the note taker, they heard the motor in the room in the basement with the light around the door.
yes, correct. Where Lana
Underground.
where
Okay.
Lana and the voices were.
Okay.
That's where the motor noise came from.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So all right, I think we're on the same page. We want to go where we thought their room is outside to see if there's an exit out there.
Yes.
So you're undoing.
No.
No.
We're going the other way. Like
back through the ice cooler?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And that when you get to the ice cooler, you find that access point has been closed.
We jammed it.
You jammed.
We jammed the mechanism so it couldn't close.
Okay.
Yeah, we jammed it. So unless someone manually moved our jamming thing, we put something in there so that it couldn't close us in.
Fair. Okay. What you find though is then it's not closed, but as you put your weight against it, something's blocking it on the other side. And as you were moving that way, you see the purple kind of gas start to emerge from the pipes down below where you are.
Oh no.
Oh no, indeed. Is this where we're going to take our break?
I think that's a good place.
Okay. Let's break here with this cliffhanger, and we will see everybody after the break.
Is this the end of the Buddy and Eddy show?
We are back from break. Michael, back to you.
All right. So as we cut away from Eddy and Buddy as they face the oncoming purple. Never
Certain
mind.
death.
Yeah.
What was
Okay. just gonna
Might
move,
be a copyright issue there.
just gonna move right through that one. All right, and we'll head over to Joe and Sam into Bad Accent Central, and we'll see what their characters are up to. I believe were y'all in the truck because y'all off into the sunset, if I remember correctly.
We got into the car, and at that point, Joe should we're heading back home. Is that fair?
I don't even know where home is.
Well,
Like your home?
no, here in town, so you can make it back for supper.
I don't think I can stay here anymore. I think I need to get out. It just feels like it did before.
The house did that?
The house, the blood, the memories.
It sounds
I
like
think
you
I
need a
just need to
break.
go.
All right. Where would you like to go?
Oh. I mean,
You want
I
to head
guess I
back
could.
to Los Alamos, somewhere around there?
I mean, yeah, I could try to sneak into my place at the store. I mean,
You're always welcome at the farm. I'm sure Amos wouldn't mind having some company.
let's just get on the road and I'll think about it while we're driving. I left things at my place above the general store, and I mean, I'm sure my job is gone, but maybe Belinda will still let me stay. just for a while, I have to get out of here. This town.
I forgot about anus. That took me so off guard.
And did you pronounce farm from? Back at the from?
Oh my God.
All right. So Joe, no, we can take you back. It's only hitting near sundown here. We
I mean,
got
that's
time.
got to be fine for you too, right? It's been like you usually just visit for an evening, and I don't know. This is longer than you usually stay.
Yeah, a little bit longer. Cheryl's gonna have my head and hide if I don't head back here soon, so we can head on home. So
Yeah, just tag
I'll
along.
do you need to stop at the old house here, pick up anything on the way out? Let them know at least you're heading.
Let's just.
We're just gonna go. Just gonna disappear.
I'll write to Carly. I'll tell her what happened. I'm sure she'll understand. I have to get out of here.
All right, and at that, I feel probably pretty. I haven't had someone have like an emotional outburst like that in the car, so I'm just gonna get real quiet, and I'm just gonna start driving back to Los Alamos.
What about the emotional outburst Joe had in the stairwell right in front of you in the last episode? It's different when it's in your car.
It's the car's confined. I could give you a handkerchief to tide you over on the stairwell. The car, I have to sit next to you and fight over the radio controls.
Oh, what are we listening to?
Oh no, don't.
No!
Well, you know what?
No.
It's actually been on the fritz for the past week. I got to take it into the shop. Unfortunately, there's no tunes to serenade us on our drive back to Los Alamos, and so we'll make the shot heading back. And I guess I'd probably get kind of distracted passing by the billboard. My hunch would be that I have a sort of a moment each time, reflecting back on that, maybe even slowing down unintentionally. You know what I mean? Just sort of like daydreaming a bit and just kind of my eyes sort of gazing over in that direction.
You want to make a roll on that?
And you get into a head-on collision. Good night, damn. All right. On what? I got on anything? Just I got a 54. So
that's not too exciting. All right.
Yeah.
Just the hairs stand back on the back of your neck up a little bit. And...
You know what? A sanity roll would make sense, right? At that point. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. You tell me. You're the keeper.
Sure. Is that within your sanity realm?
Yeah, I make it.
Okay, then take off a point of sanity for passing by it and.
Oh wait, I just fucked myself.
Yeah, and messing with the keeper.
A little bit.
All right. There goes Sam. Little eye twitch happens as we pass by, and then I sort of speed up and I make my way back to Los Alamos. I suppose at this point we'd be getting in just as evening is settling in. A couple of twinkling stars there, and I would turn to Joe and I'd say, "So where to, Joe?"
Can we retcon this? I was going to open my little box while we were driving.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah, you can go back to the billboard while Sam's kind of staring ahead, thinking about Franny off in the distance, and you can open that box.
Yeah, I couldn't do it at the time, but the further that I get from town, the more I don't think anything's really better. But Joe's real good at just not thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
So I won't really say anything about it, but I'll just pull this little wooden box with a little clasp on the front out of my bag. The one that I pulled that I found was still there under the dresser. And it just has a collection of stuff that I thought was interesting as a kid. I mean, there's like some cool little rocks with fossils and like this pocket watch that belonged to my grandfather. And I don't know, a sketchbook. Like I used to try to sketch things that I saw around the town, and there's a snake skin. It's a little crinkly now, but it's still, you can tell what it is. It hasn't totally fallen apart. And there's this little keychain that I remember getting when I was on a trip with my parents to Albuquerque. And it has this little purple stone on it. And it's just so, I don't know. I can't tell when I look into the stone if it's clear and I'm just seeing the reflection of what's behind it, or if there's something in it. I don't know. I always thought it was a really unique hue.
And as you're moving those objects around and kind of reminiscing and holding them and feeling the crinkleness of the snake skin, it's evening time, right? As y'all are in the car and headed out of town. And so the lights dim and you're poking around in there and you think, that's odd. I don't remember that. What is that? And it's a smallish, whitish object, probably about half inch. And you pick it up and it's a molar. Yeah, that's the expression I was hoping to see.
I mean, I used to keep my teeth when I was little, but I didn't lose the back ones. I have no idea.
Yeah, this is not a baby tooth either. This is a fairly like adult sized tooth.
Do you say that out loud, Joe?
Yes, I do.
Okay, all right. I go, teeth? What you talking about, teeth? Is that a tooth? What do you got there?
It's a tooth. It's like a big one, like you'd have in the back.
Like a dog's tooth?
I don't know. What do you think?
Oh my Lord.
What?
That
I wasn't giving you a finger. I was showing you the tooth.
Yeah, I know. I'm taking the tooth. I'm looking at the tooth as we're driving. That was for the keeper. And so that's an adult's tooth, Joe. What are you doing with this?
I'm doing nothing. I just used to keep cool things in my box. I'm sorry.
Phrasing.
I used to collect things, and I thought it might still be there, and it was, but this is not mine.
Make
a pal roll as you're discussing this.
It's probably fine. It's a 38. Wait, where is POW? Oh, yes, it's fine. It is a regular success.
And so you're looking at this tooth and it's odd, but you can't remember it. You can't place it. Doesn't make sense, but y'all go ahead.
Yeah. Does it have a fill-in or, any type of markings on the tooth?
It's rough on the sides. Like it was pulled out.
Oh. Oh. Other marks? Like the roughness. Is it like somebody had it with a pair of pliers?
Yes.
Can you pronounce it that way again, please?
The roughness.
I just want to make sure I heard it right.
Yeah. So I said, Joe, this tooth here feels. You notice these little markings on the side as I'm trying to drive.
I'm sure you're not touching the tooth while you're driving. 10 and 2.
I'm doing this thing. I got 2 o'clock and tooth o'clock. 2 o'clock and tooth o'clock. And I'm feeling the edges. And I'm saying, Joe, take a look here. That feels like something artificial was digging into this. And I think somebody pulled this.
I don't know who was in the house after I left. There were obviously people there cleaning up, but it doesn't, they would have just taken my stuff if they found it, right?
Who would have messed with you like this, Joe? I don't want to be the one to say it, but do you...
You mean you think it's like intentional? I mean, of course it's intentional. Why would somebody look at my stuff and not take it? And then, hey, Keeper, do I have all my molars?
You do. And in fact, that would make sense,
good.
right? If you felt around and you have all of your teeth.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say, did her parents have all of their teeth?
How would we know?
Yeah, how would you know?
That's a fair point. I don't know. Nobody else checks their parents' teeth out from time to time. All right, so
Well, Sam, I
Super
never
weird.
really looked too closely at my parents' molars, but they never said anything about, pliers.
Is checking out molars a Sam thing or a Rick thing? I just want to know where the
Is there a difference?
player stops and the character starts.
when art imitates life. So, Papa, open up and let me see those pearly whites. So, do you think this could be your parents, Joe?
Goodness, no. Why would
I don't know. I mean, that's
not even possible.
You're right. You're right.
I told you what happened. They died and I left.
Right.
You're suggesting somebody pulled a tooth from their dead body
I immediately regret this suggestion to you, Joe.
and put it with my
think-
keepsakes?
I think, Joe, you got to make a sand roll on that one.
Damn it, Sam. That's a failure.
Oh, Sam.
At the
Terrible.
realization that this could possibly be your parents' tooth and that somebody would go to such lengths to do that with you, Sam just cost you 4 points of sanity.
Whoa.
It's not my parents' tooth. It's not. It can't be. It's not. You're gonna have to put up with this in the car for a really long time.
That's great.
Yeah,
Sam-
make them pay for that sanity loss.
Sam speeds up just a little bit, and so we should just put that away. We should just put that away, Joe. We need to get this out of sight,
You
out of
can't
mind.
close that box. You
So-
open the box.
I open that box and
Yeah.
make
And
our way.
I think,
forward.
Sam, it's only fair that you make a little roll here too, because we're still torn thinking about Franny, and now you may have said this out loud without really thinking about what you wanted to say to Joe, right? You let this slip towards Joe, and now you rolled a 3.
I rolled a 3.
What?
Suck it.
It just means you're a careless, soulless asshole, but that's okay.
Art imitates. All right, so,
Wow.
so it's bad. Anyway, well, I'm a hardened. No, I'm a hardened World War One vet. That makes sense. I mean, I've seen a
Okay,
lot.
sure. Okay.
Simple,
Sam
simple.
religious.
You notice the cross was ripped off the thing hanging off of my windshield, my rearview mirror. Words.
I don't know what that meant.
You don't see any religious iconography on Sam.
Did I notice the cross was ripped off of the thing on the thing? Is that what we're saying?
Well, I was about to say rosaries, but I'm not personally a religious person. So
You
our
have
crosses,
a rosary without a cross hanging from your rearview mirror?
I
Is
just
that
meant,
what you just said?
something that normally a cross would be on is now.
A chain.
So there's just an empty chain with maybe a little dilly dally there that something was ripped. How's that? We're gonna go with that.
Why?
What do you mean? Why?
Okay, never mind. Y'all just
It's
keep
he
going.
ripped it off. You know what I mean?
So you put the
Why
cross
would
in
he
your
have it-
car.
Yeah, to
And then you
take
tore it off. I'm sorry. Joe's just having some issues right now. She's focusing on the things that maybe aren't really important in the grand scheme of things.
That's fair.
But it's better than thinking about what you just said.
That's most people should just forget what Sam says or Rick, either one, and we'll make our way forward. I think forward progression is the only progression here, and despite the frivolity here in the car and volatility of this.
I don't know what you think frivolity means, but I do not feel very frivolous.
Fair. And so we'll just make our way over to Los Alamos, and
That's great. That's
good. This is good. You wanted to open the box. You wanted to open the box in the car, and
it's just my stuff.
well, your stuff costs 4 sanity points. So we'll make our way into Los Alamos, and I'll just say, Joe, where would you like to?
While we're driving the rest of the way, I'll take my little
No.
sketchbook and I'll just sketch Sam's chain hanging from his windshield.
Thank you.
From his rear view mirror that
Yeah.
clearly used to have something attached to it. And it just
Perfect.
seems destructed, and it appeals to me in this moment.
Would this be the book that you've been carrying around?
Oh, no. This was the little sketchbook that I kept in my little box. It's a different book. It's not the book I stole from Hans Becker.
Perfect. Okay. Just checking in there.
Just a sketchbook.
Okay.
Cool.
Just a sketchbook.
Where would you like to go, Joe? Back to your shop?
Yeah, I've been thinking about it, but the more I think about that, I really think I just can't talk to Belinda right now. You know Belinda at the general store, right?
Yeah, I know Belinda quite well.
I mean, she's not going to take kindly to me showing up after just disappearing from work for months.
Oh,
I don't know. I mean,
well, I mean,
I know Cully sold the house, but I don't know. He didn't tell me much more than that, but maybe it's empty. I just don't know where to go. I mean, you should go home to your family, but I have to go somewhere.
you want me to swing by Collier's house, see if he's home, anyone's home?
No, I
It's
mean
empty?
Cully's house, Richard's house. Cully would never go to his house.
Right, but
He'd
Cully
stay as far from his parents as possible.
owned it. Yeah. Well,
I mean, he used to stay at Richard's a lot, and if nobody's living there right now,
I mean, you can at least make a pass on the way.
yeah.
All right. That'll bring you some calm. And worst case scenario, Amos and Zeus would love to have an evening and some company. I'm sure Cheryl would easily put up another plate for you.
Did you ever tell me who Zeus was?
Oh, dog. Our dog. I'm looking at my notes. It's actually Zed, but we call him Zeus for fun.
Okay. I do like dogs.
Yep. Okay, so we'll
This is a
swing
great
by.
scene. We are
It's a good-
killing this.
Killing it. So we'll drive by Richards, formerly Richards, then Cully's, since sold. Right? I don't know. I thought that
Yeah,
was
I
the
mean,
plan.
we've been writing a little bit.
I feel like I should make Rick make a sand roll.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Are y'all driving? When you say drive by, are you actually pulling into the house?
I would probably pull up up to the curb, in front of the house.
Well, there's no curb.
A long
Remember,
driveway.
It's a long driveway that snakes up. Remember, the house is out above Los Alamos.
I think we
like-
should drive up the driveway and at least see if there's a car there, if there are any lights on. Because if not, I mean, if Cully was comfortable there, I'd rather be there than with Belinda.
You won't be a squatter up here. You got no food, no resources. Who knows if the water or power's on? But I'll take you up. I've
been taking care of myself for a long time.
All right. All right. We don't need no more screaming here in the car, and we'll drive on up the road.
All right. And
We've been conversing for a long time since Joe last screamed.
Yep.
But maybe she'll just scream again.
Oh boy, can't wait. So what we'll do?
Okay, Sam.
All right, we'll head on up to that front of the house, up the driveway. Do I see any reflections as we're coming up? Any lights in the house? Any vehicles or on the way?
can the keeper step in?
Please do.
Are you saying, Joe, that you're about to scream in the car?
No, I'm not. I was
okay.
actually out of character trying to make a joke about the fact that Sam thought that the next thing that was going to happen in the car was screaming, even though we had been conversing for quite a while.
Just checking in.
Screams.
Sister B, as you're standing outside the house, right? You see these headlights turn into the drive or turn up the driveway and start rolling up towards the house.
Oh, okay. And I believe Pappy had gone in a side window.
He had, correct. Yep.
Okay. And Sister B was waiting at the front door to maybe get in. Pappy comes over.
When
Pappy,
last we left, I was just about to open the door because I didn't want to leave you out there too long.
Oh, that's right.
And what's your first name again?
John?
It's John. That's right.
B, don't blow his cover.
Yeah.
No, he said to call him John.
No,
Keep her
Pappy!
Well, no, around other people it was Pappy, but then you said call you.
No, call me Pappy always. I don't want any fucking mix-ups.
Oh, okay. So John.
Keeper, may I ask a question? As we're coming up the driveway, how does the timing work? Is there any chance Joe would see Sister B on the porch?
Make a roll on that. We'll see if you see her or if you're too busy engaged on conversation with Sam. So you can make a spot.
What kind of roll?
Yeah, just a spot.
Oh, I rolled a 3.
Oh, you recognize that's that crazy nun?
Oh my god, that's the crazy nun!
The Russian nun?
The words just came into my mind. The one who I told you about her, she knew Richard. And she kept saying he was alive.
I speed up the car.
He's dead. And people can't just be alive after they've died. It made me very uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm. So I go quiet and I kind of just start squinting and I'm speeding up a bit towards the front of the house.
Well, it's not that far. You're there.
I'll lean out the window. What are you doing here? To Sister B.
Oh, I guess Sister B's not in yet then.
Uh-uh.
All right. I guess, well, Sister B would have saw headlights, and so she would have actually, if headlights were coming, she would have gone inside.
Oh.
But I guess if she didn't have time, she would have walked away and not just stood there. And
Yeah, remember the door's locked.
because
All I know is that I rolled a 3, so I saw you.
Okay.
So even if you're walking away, I can still yell.
Sure. So she would, she wouldn't know, but you, so she would think to take precaution, let's just say. So she would start walking towards the side of the house where that might be some shrubs or somewhere to hide. And if she, I guess if she sensed she was seen by the headlights, then she would turn around and go into being nunnish.
So,
So
did you or did you not hear Joe scream at you from the window?
You can make a listen roll. Make a listen roll. We'll let the dice decide.
Sister B's old ears. Listen roll. Oh my God, a 1.
Jesus.
Joe has that special piercing tone.
Okay, so
When she gets worked up.
So Sister B, you not only hear Joe, but you know exactly who it is as soon as her voice kind of breaks the air.
I was going to try to. How much did Sister B talk to Joe? I'm just remember at that house that one day.
I mean, it was the house the one day, but we had a long conversation. We actually got into an argument because I was trying to put deaths behind me and you were saying he's not dead, he's alive. And we kind of clashed about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she's just she just turns around. She says, "Oh, Pappy, let me into the house. We have guests here." Pappy would have never met Joe. So she says, "Oh, there's people you need to meet."
Well, did I see the lights?
So that's probably, that would be a good question. You were headed to the door to let Sister B in. Is that right?
Yeah, I was also, I mean, it's all timing. I spent some time looking at the room with the blood, so you can decide at what point.
Right, which I think would be fine. You were probably headed to the door. So, at this point, there's not like, unless you want to play out some sort of scene here, you could.
Yeah, I don't want to be in the house. So
okay.
If I hear Sister say that, I'm going to go back out the way I came in and come around the side of the house.
Okay, sure.
I don't want
that's
people
fine.
to know I was in the house.
Oh, okay. All right, fine. Yeah, that makes sense then. Okay, perfect.
So, but they're not there yet. So I go, Sister, I'm going to go out the back and I'll come around the corner and meet you there.
Yes, of course. You were never in house. All right.
All right.
So we pull. So at this point, I guess we would pull up.
So if we pull up, Joe will hop right out and hurry up to Sister B, assuming you're still on the front porch.
Yeah, she'll stand on front porch with her suitcase.
Why are you here now?
Oh, Joe, it's so good to see you.
You came to Carly's and now you're here?
Yes, this is Richard's house. I must just see
It's not
around.
Richard's house anymore. He left it to my friend Carly.
Yes, but it was once Richard's house, and if you look inside, it has many things packed up that were Richard's. And perhaps we could look at some things and maybe learn a few things.
Okay, I have to ask: is the nun wearing religious iconography? Because just as a reminder, there was a sand roll when I fought with Sister B.
Well, she's got a chain which she tore off the cross.
Joe has a problem with religious iconography now.
She's a nun, so
but nuns don't necessarily wear crosses. So.
Yeah, so she wouldn't have a big. So actually, no, Sister B, and actually with Russian. No,
just
checking.
Good, we can keep having this conversation.
She's a non-necklacey person, and so it would be. She's pretty. I'm gonna say austere in her outfits. Yeah, so it'd be pretty, like very heavy black shoes with those giant nun. Yeah.
Those giant nun
shoes and nun socks.
Yes.
No, thick nun stockings.
I know those.
And
yeah,
nunchucks.
Yeah, nunchucks. and
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess we were conversing.
Her nun fit.
Okay.
Outfit. Joe, so you have come to, and then she goes, why have you come to Richard's house?
I mean, I have a right to be here as much as anyone. Cully was my friend.
Oh, I'm not saying you don't have a right. I was just curious. You are in Abacu at what's her name again?
Carly.
At Carly's house.
Although you called her Joan, or I forget what the name was that you knew her by. Jane.
Jane.
Yeah.
Oh yes, you were at that Carly's house, and or as I say, Jane.
She's not Jane. She's Carly.
Oh, okay. And anyway, so it's as good that you come here. But curious, you come here, and but that's your own business. You don't need to tell me. But it is good to see you. But maybe we'd have mutual interests in seeing what is really going on with Richard, and what has happened to him.
Richard died.
Oh, we will see about that. We will look through a few things and put all the pieces in place that will make it for sure.
Sam, do you hear this?
Yeah, Sam's standing next to the car, quiet as a titmouse, and he's just studying Sister Bialo Pushkin here. And after this sort of a lull in the conversation, he'll say, "Miss, you're not from around here, are you?"
Oh, that is Sister. That is Sister B. You can call me Mr. Who are you, my friend?
Oh, you can call me Mr. Wagoneer.
Mr. Wagoneer?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, Mr. Wagoneer, it is good to meet you, and apparently you are a friend of Richard too. Oh, that is good. More information to find things out.
Well, I never met the man. I only sort of met part of him here in the house. More or less on the bottom of my shoe as he was splattered this way and that.
Oh, so you think the scene of the altercation and blood and such like that.
Yes, he was very, very much post-mortem, as it were. But I have to ask,
how can you talk about the death of someone you care about with such
frivolity?
Indeed.
Oh, that is because there is good, in my mind, a very good possibility that Richard is in fact not dead. I told you that. There were people and things that were afoot that perhaps are trying to fool us, to make us think he is dead. Someone died, but I don't think it was Richard. And that is what I need to find out.
And who you finding out for there, sister? These just your meandering interests of a Russian nun here in the States?
And I said, "Oh, that is my interest. He is my brother, and I will find out if he is dead or not dead."
I didn't know Richard was Russian.
He had thick accent from Eastern Europe,
Yeah,
but
thick accent.
But Sam didn't know that.
but he was
Oh.
he left when he was a small boy and lived in a different country in Eastern Europe, and maybe he sounded different. He was much younger than me, and then of course we have our half sister, as you say, Carly, but she's her name is Jana, but it is Jane.
Side
and
note
you-
for the keeper: is Pappy also on the porch?
No, Pappy's hiding.
Oh, you jumped out the window and okay.
Yep, I went
Okay.
around the far side of the house, and I'm just hiding and listening.
Okay. Got it.
Happy may reveal or may not reveal himself at any time that he so chooses.
Who knows
So-
what Pappy will do?
Sister, you said Eastern Europe. Which parts of Eastern Europe?
Oh, in Eastern Europe, well, at one time, Russians weren't so nice to my sisters and and I had to leave, and for own safety, Richard, he was sent away when he was young, when it became too dangerous with the current government, as you say, in power. So he ended up in what became Yugoslavia, but was many, many other different countries. He was in Belgrade.
All right. All right. And when did you come over here to the States, ma'am?
Oh, I was over in Europe for a long, long time, and came over here before the war broke out. It became too difficult to stay in Eastern Europe, and it was time to leave because my sisters were, let's just say, they were dispersed by Russian government and put into situations that were not good.
And you've always been a lady of the cloth?
And I said, Mr. Sam, you ask many questions. Are you some sort of agent or something?
No, just a patriotic American here who shed some blood with brothers and sisters there on the front line, even some Russians. But it's unusual to see you out of these parts. I just want to make sure your motives aren't belying any of our interests here.
Oh, whose interests? Your interests?
America's goddamn interest.
Oh,
Oh
that
boy.
is very nice. There is only one unity of human beings, and whether they are good or evil. And if you stand on the side of evil or you stand on the side of good. And I think I stand on the side of good, and that is how it is divided. If you want to make little groups of people, that is what you do. I don't do that. So if you want to stand on side of good, then I will be with you.
Well, all right. I guess we're on the side of good, aren't we?
And
So
we
through
are,
this
and that's
whole-
why we are here at this house, because there is very, very, very terrible evil things afoot that has put my brother in great peril. I don't think, like I said, I don't think he is gone, but I do think he is in great, great peril.
And as I'm looking around, there's another car presumably here?
Yes.
And there's just the one, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I go, and sister, so you made your way all the way out here by your lonesome?
Oh, sisters can get around very, very well. And I says, "Are you looking for someone?" And so she's guarded at this point, just in case, because she doesn't know if Pappy is being followed.
And
so she'll
and
be
so
definitely
so
come back.
keeper, I think they'd like to do some sort of like either, I don't know if there's like an inside equivalent to see right if she's trying to hide it, or just see if I see I would look down at the ground and see if there's extra sets of footprints.
Well, Sam's become quite the detective.
Yeah, what the fuck?
I think wasn't the sun was it morning or the sun going down?
No,
No,
it's
it's-
not.
It's
not.
it's
Okay.
night. So
It's not, that's what I thought.
I guess you would have the same moon that Buddy and Eddy have, which is a full one. As you start to examine the ground, and if you have a view out over the base at all, you see well, my goodness, the word for a group of automobiles moving in a line.
Convoy?
Thank you. You see a convoy of
Mercy sakes alive.
Motorcade.
You see a convoy of vehicles leaving the base, right? And that familiar siren that the characters would have heard. Remember the first night at the theater?
When the dogs got
Dogs
loose.
come out.
Right. And so again, right? And you can hear kind of the muffled sounds of a voice over the megaphone, but you're able to catch the words of the dogs are loose and remain inside, boop, boop, and we'll close for the night.
That was a fantastic ending. So that is going to do it for us tonight. Don't forget, if you are listening to the podcast, stick around for more wackiness at the end of the show, just like we start with. Until next time, you can find us at underthelibrary.com. You can find me on Twitter at tallandnerdy, and you can find Michael on Twitter at underthelib. And don't forget, check out our other podcast, Up Your RPG, wherever you subscribe to such audio content. So until next time, for me, for Michael, for Emily, Scott, Wayne, Rick, and Chris, thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.